Hey guys, I'm Jace. Welcome back to Farmstead Forge. Today I'm going to take you through the steps on how to make pickup tongs. Pickup tongs are really great for working with, whoa, my stock's rolling away. Guess my anvil's not level. Working with hammers. Grab your hammer this way and grab it in on corner. I want to make a smaller set today for working with smaller hammers and stock. So I'm using some 5/8 round rod. This is cut 10 inches long. Normally I use 3/4 sucker rod, but I want these a little bit smaller, but I'm making them the exact same length and everything as you would for bigger hammers, you know, bigger tongs if you're making like 2-pound hammers or so. We're working out in the barn today because I don't have any electricity, so I did have to use my DeWalt battery-powered angle grinder to cut this stuff. I'm not going to make offset reins like this set. I'm just going to do a basic set, kind of like my Jaw Tongs, that are very simple, very easy to make. I've got a lot of guff from using a power hammer in beginner tutorials, so today we're doing all our drawing out on the horn just like you would at home. Okay, for my first step, I'm going to come in here at 2.5 inches. I got to have a pretty long bit on these, or jaw, and I'm going to come in half on, half off, and I'm gonna set this step down. And I'll probably draw it out to 4.5 inches. Remember guys, when you build tongs, you do both sides exactly the same unless you're doing like a weird special tong. So I'm only gonna film one side of this thing until a little bit later, and then when we put the two halves together, then of course they'll be together. Right into my line, 2.5 inches. I'm just roughing this out. We will finish this in a minute. I'm just getting my steps. We'll rough it out and then we'll draw out our reins. We'll have something nice to hold our hands to. We can finish our bit and our jaw. Next, I'm gonna come in here at a 45 with my boss step facing this way, and I'm gonna drive that down. Same thing, half on, half off. Now, I want about 1/8 of an inch from this step to the edge of my anvil. That gives you your clearance. Too far back, you have lots of clearance, but it's very weak. Too far forward, your boss will smash up in, and you gotta do a lot of grinding or hot rasping, so we're gonna avoid that. So, right at 1/8 of an inch from this step to the edge of your anvil. Just a note, I don't use this big a hammer on everyday forging. I just do it for my videos because I can do everything in one heat that I need to for the video, make it go faster. not to get your boss boss area too thin because you'll come back in and dress a lot of this up. So I like to be right at 3/8 of an inch, so you want to be just a little bit thicker than that. Next up, I'm going to come in, this lip facing up. I'm going to give myself about 1 inch, and I'm going to drive this down, half on, half off. A lot of times I'm more 1/4 off and half on my anvil, but you get the picture. So I just did a mark on the top side, so that way when I come out of the forge, I can just drive it down. Not to get this area too thin or it becomes weak and your reins will always be springing on you. You want to get this very close to your boss where you want it, and then we're going to come in, draw out our reins, we have something nice to hold on to, and we can refine all this and make it look nice and pretty. As you can see, this is getting a twist to it. That can all be fixed, so don't freak out. But if you want to fix it now, you can. You might have to fix it later, but I'm going to show you how we can fix that so it stays pretty straight as you're drawing out your reins. Drawing out my reins, I'm going to do a little trick that really helped me when I was starting out, and it's going to help me today because I am very rusty at drawing out on the horn. So I'm going to find my center, and I'm a little up. And I'm going to work right on top of that. That way I don't get over to one side and causes my steel to really whip up. For drawing out, we're going to stay right on top of that. 2 round edges, pushing your steel. Remember, heat is your friend. These box jaw tongs are really great for this kind of thing. It keeps your steel from really whipping. If you haven't seen my video on those, check that out. Make sure that your rein is not thicker than your boss. We have just a little more work to do on that. Now that I got my reins where I want them, I'm going to hem the edges. It's kind of a farrier's term, but if you're new to blacksmithing, that's taking off this sharp edge so it doesn't grab into your hand. So you're just going to go corner to corner. Flip it over, corner to corner. Flip it around, corner to corner. Repeat the process till you have that corner knocked off and it's right where you want it. And we're going to straighten them back out. You can also hot rasp this edge if you want. This is just really good forge practice to get that nice hammered look, and it's a nice smooth edge. Alright, so these are roughed out pretty well where we want them. Now we can come in here. I'm going to forge this back a little bit. Come in here, forge that a little bit. And then very important, if you come in here at the end of this, you tap that back. That's going to clean that up a lot and save you a lot of hot rasping. But you see you have a lip there that'll have to be cleaned up here in a minute. And then I need to get a little more length out of these, so we're going to work on that. Now that I have my reins drawn out, I can hold these with a glove, quench them once in a while to cool them off, but you have a lot more control. You're not trying to hold all this with a set of tongs and it's whipping back and forth on you. Alright, so now it's time. We got these guys pretty well where we want them. Now it's time to punch our hole. So you want to make sure when you punch your hole, this step is down. So you drive that down, you come back out to knock your source out. You can do it over on a nice flat surface over your pritchel hole. You can mark them if you want or whatever. I generally just poke it and go. You can drill it if you don't have a hot punch. Just make sure you're using some mild steel when you drill it, not some high carbon stuff like most of my tongs are. Now when you punch these, you want it a nice hot to drive it down. When you come back through and you go to shear it out, you want a black heat. You don't want it to be nice and red hot when you try to shear it out, because it won't shear out. It won't shear out clean. It'll all mellow on you. Spot, it's all shiny and black. Take that, flatten it back out so your punch will sit there. Make sure you're coming through straight. You can feel it start to go on you. I can feel it just slipping down through there. One more final seat. Feel it's tapped out. Come over my hole. Almost there. Nice clean hole. If you don't have beeswax to dip it in to lubricate your tool, you can use an old bar of soap. It just really stinks. Make sure my hole is sized. Alright, so before I bend my jaws around, make my marks, I got some cleanup to do. I got this hole punched back a little farther, so this is too thick through here. So we'll have to hot rasp that because it's binding. This side's nice and clean, that's the way it should be. And then this will have to be cleaned up right here. The other thing you want to make sure of is all these edges are nice and round and flowing, and then your tongs won't bind when you rivet them. They'll have a nice smooth edge to go against. Alright, now that I got this all cleaned up in through there and everything moves freely, I'm going to make a mark on here. So I know where I want my bend to be. So they all match up decent. I'm going to put a mark so that when I come out, I can tip it down and I can see that mark. Find my line. Alright, so I'm just gonna make a little notch on these. I'm gonna come up, yeah, about 1/4 of an inch or so. And find my center, and I'm just gonna go up and make a little V notch. Some pickup tongs don't have these. I really like them because then it just gives you the option to grab steel corner to corner. If you don't have an angle grinder to cut this in, then you will have to hot cut it before you make your bend. Alright, so they are ready to rivet up. If you're wondering why I put these marks in this side, that is kind of a farrier thing more than anything, I think. But the big reason I do that is it locks your rivet into one side, so your rein is flowing around your rivet and not your rivet sitting in there spinning. After a while, it gets a wear spot on tongs that are used every day, and then your tongs will stick or it wears your boss out. So, big thing on riveting when you rivet, you gotta make sure there's no gap in there like that, because it'll mushroom out in between your reins and you're done going. You gotta cut it out and start over. Oops. Messed up. Where'd it go? Losing my heat. That's another big mistake. Don't rivet it on the wrong side. Alright, now we're all crooked and froze up. We're going to throw it back in. We'll heat it up, we'll free them up, and then we'll get everything sized and in line. Don't open it until you've done that. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. These basic pickup tongs, as you can see, they really work great for grabbing smaller hammers and square stock on end. It'll be nice to have a smaller set on the rack. As you can see, we didn't use a big fancy power hammer this time to make these. It took me right at 2.5 hours to whip these out, and that was with wrangling a baby after a while and filming. So if you did enjoy it, check out our tong playlist. There's a lot of tutorials over there. You can learn a lot of different style of tongs. And now I have job number 2 of getting this guy in for another nap. We'll catch you next time.
Yay, we got him done, yay!